What's good, Kingdom? It's your boy King Phenom here, and we are back with some more of that good old-fashioned King shit. And
King
drop
shit
here somewhere. Like once again, I am joined by my homies. We got Mr. Blank Man. The TVA is black owned himself.
That's right, black owned, baby, black owned.
And then we have, of course, King Sirius Lee, the Silver King.
What up?
And if you can't tell, I am he who remains a nigga. Like,
well, why the Silver King though? What's to the Silver King?
So I've been seriously rich for a long time now, and like Diddy and Snoop and other great people that's come before me, I'm working on a name change.
He needs a new AKA.
Yeah, I'm working to get another AKA in there.
So the Silver King that's one out.
Sirius the Silver King. It kind of just rolls off the tongue.
But what does it mean though? But what does it mean?
I don't know. I'll make it mean something. It's just a name right now. You know, Diddy calls himself Love. Like, are we asking Diddy what love means? Like, no, it's just is.
He said a name is always a name.
You have a lot of silver in your pocket. You carry change. Is it your favorite color?
I carry change. It's one of my favorite colors. Well, the Silver King is.
It's wearing a lot of gray right now. You can say it's kind of silvery.
There you go.
It's an anime called Project K, and I really, really like this anime. And there's a character on this anime, and he has a name, but he is the Silver King.
So if you dye your hair silver, wouldn't that make more sense?
If I was to dye my hair silver,
yeah.
If he was to do that, I'm calling him Sirius the Cisco. That's it.
That's even
I don't want to be Sirius the Cisco. I don't want to be that.
Every time he would join, I would play a Cisco drop. All you hear is
Sirius the Cisco. It's the Cisco.
That's all you would hear is just Cisco hitting a high note.
Or just dye your goatee silver.
Dye my goatee. I've got to get permission to do stuff like that. So I'll see if I can float that.
Man, go ahead and dye this man. Just walk around here doing this shit all day.
Nothing's funnier than when someone has a woman and you know exactly what they mean when they say so. Yeah, I gotta get permission.
That's why I didn't check them.
You gotta get permission to do certain stuff. You can't just do it. Like, that's what people have to look at this face. I gotta make sure it looks good for that person.
I can't grow a lush beard, but yeah, if I cut all this off and I just go straight baby face, my wife looks at me like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Yeah,
like,
the disapproval of
like
the people that love you, bro. Like, you can't do that.
I can't shave my mustache. I look weird. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, she would say that, right?
Yeah, my wife didn't like it when I did it. Yeah, my wife didn't like it when I did it. I was like, I don't mind not having a mustache. It's all right.
She's like, don't do that again. I was
it's not as weird as I thought it would be, just having this part right here.
She's like, you're all lip after that. I'm like, damn, that's kind of racist.
The pressures in these relationships.
She said,
bro.
you all lip now.
We gotta look good for our women. You know what I'm saying? Gotta represent. Speaking of good. So, what do we think about Loki, guys?
Speaking of women, what do we think about Loki?
Was that the segue?
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, you said speaking. What did you say? Speaking of looking good?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear
looking good. What do you guys think of Loki?
Spot. Yeah.
That's even worse.
Shut up.
This is why I do the transitions.
I'm working on it, man.
Like, I bridge gaps.
I'm working on it, baby. I'm working on it.
Save it for the pros, man.
That bridge was incomplete.
Damn, he's the same for the pros. Oh my
god, man, save it for the pros, man.
If this was speed, that transition would not have made that jump if this was a bus and speed.
That was a little rough.
But yeah, so we can. Hold on, you have a question here.
Thomas is serious? Who is Akeem Thomas?
You might know Akeem Thomas.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
L Boogie. Who is Akeem Thomas?
I don't know nobody named Akeem.
Does Akeem Thomas say they know Sirius? Because Sirius doesn't know an Akeem Thomas. not by that name.
That's weird.
Only Akeem Thomas Google knows is a footballer.
Well, you're gonna have to help me out with that one, L Boogie. Now it's a mystery. Hey, you guys, a mystery's afoot.
It's like a Facebook recommendation. You're like the only person that they have a comment.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm just taking a guess.
That sounds like a really good guess.
I'm surprised I don't know anybody named Akeem. They're just certain names as a black person you would expect to, like all the not imaginary, because all names is basically made up. With all the names I know, like something like Akeem, I feel like I should know an Akeem.
I'm about to see if I know.
You know what? You're right. I should know. I know a Dante. I know a kind of weird names. How come I know Akeem?
Yeah, it's like that's.
Especially my age, because Coming to America the original came out.
I'm gonna say that's the only Akeem I've ever known is Coming to America.
Prince Akeem.
Yeah, that's the only Akeem I've ever known.
Yeah, me too. Prince Akeem from Zawunda.
I know weird name. I mean, I just don't know Akeem. All right. Yeah, Boogie, gotta help me out with that one. What were we saying? Loki, bridging gaps. Yeah. No, do the segue again. Hey, come on, Black man, do the segue again. We messed up.
Dre said, "Turn this up a little bit if you can."
Turn it up.
Yeah, because we're low. I guess we're a little low.
Banging it.
I sure will.
Oh, she said it's a random question from your Facebook, the Casanova rapper you posted.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but that dude's banging. Have you seen the video? I don't know.
Yeah, have you seen the video? Now I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, the Casanova nigga with his shirt all over.
Yeah,
that dude's fire.
Every time I see him on the timeline, I'm gonna repost him every single time. I don't know.
He's fire. He's fire. He's definitely fire.
My man was flowing, man. He had everything was going side to side. He had lady next to him. It was smooth, man.
And the lyrics are nice too.
Oh, okay. Hey, you guys, we gotta get to Loki.
She just threatened us with a very she's gonna hug us to death. The first was like she just threatened us with a very weird emote. I don't know what's gonna happen. Is she gonna crush our hearts?
Hey Dre, how's the sound work for them now? I turned something up. You know me. I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be just flipping knobs and stuff.
Normally I just lower my mic volume like to try to even myself out, and like, hey, if you can't hear me, just turn your volume up.
It's better. Sweet. Okay. Blank Man was just about to segue us back into the Loki. He was about to be like, speaking of flashlights, did you guys see Loki? Like he was gonna segue us in
like,
there.
Speaking of niggas,
speaking of people who try to control everything, have y'all seen Loki? Really, it's really good. The last season, no, but actually, it was actually pretty good. Everybody saw it, right?
Yeah. The season finale of Loki. Which, hey, we're getting a season 2. Yeah,
you guys know I saw it. I posted it in every single chat that I know. I think strangers I haven't spoken to in a while saw that post. I was just like, Loki! I was screaming at the end of that jump, man. I was hyped.
Yeah, I watched it at work and I was just like, oh shit. Like while I'm looking over my shoulder to make sure nobody walks behind me while I'm watching Loki.
No, it was definitely like I said, this has probably been the best series they've had.
Had 3 series.
Huh?
So they've only had 3 series.
Well, they've had like the Runaways and Cloak and Dagger and all that shit. And
no, James Gunn says that doesn't count.
Oh well, this was actually pretty good. And I like the way Jonathan Majors is going to be a great King the Conqueror. I mean, I knew he's a great actor, but his portrayal of like that version of Kang and the whole thing was actually pretty good, because we knew what was coming and everybody had all these theories.
What kills me, bro? We knew it was coming, and still, not us 3, but like just fans in general, like we knew who it was, and we still psyched ourselves out to think that it was somebody else.
Exactly.
And it was like, why are we thinking so hard about this? We know who it is. Like it makes sense.
Theories everywhere.
We're smarter than this. We know who's the man behind the curtain. And it was just like, I was like, it's another Loki. And I was like,
we know who the Wizard of Oz is in this bitch.
But what I didn't know it was going to be this version of him. That's what made it cool. That's why I think the loop they threw us for was check out this version of Kang. And people who don't know the comic books and knows there's an infinite number of Kangs and all that stuff, this was kind of cool to go, oh, there's more than one different type of Kang? I didn't know that. And they threw it in there, and Jonathan Majors played and did it so well. He was like, he was a little bit insane, but he was like a genius at the same time.
No, see, and you know what's cool? I've heard people say that particular character was kind of like crazy, or he was kind of like insane or whatever. When you think of the idea of you knowing everything that's going to happen before it happens, that's not even, you're just, at that point, you're just having fun with stuff. Like, knowledge is power. Like, it's
not even that. You know all that, and you're in solitude. Like you're just waiting, and you're in solitude. And for those who don't know, like everyone should know, Loki episode 6 started off where episode 5 left off. They enchanted Alioth to get to the castle that was at the end of the end of the void or something like that.
Yeah.
And when the edge of time.
Yeah, and when Loki and Sylvie get inside the castle, they run into he who remains, who is basically a variant of Kang the Conqueror. And so one of the great things about this was the entire time, like they're trying to stab the man, they're trying to do stuff. He's like, I know this, I know everything. He has books like, you're about to say this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. And so, yeah, a lot of people called him crazy. I just think he was just someone who was alone for centuries, not doing shit, and like he knew that eventually like someone was going to come to entertain him to a certain level, and he was having fun with it.
Nobody ever gets it past this point, yo. Like, this is great. Like, I finally got to this chapter in which,
he's like, all my years of living, I haven't found anyone who was smart enough to figure out how to find me. It's like, and now that I have, I'm going to run with this.
Now, even with that, only Sylvie could have found him, because you gotta have like nobody else was going to be able to get past what was that giant called? Alioth. Nobody else was going to be able to get past that. Like, only she could do that.
I think when he said he was like, I know what's going to happen, I think she's a reason for all of this. Comes down to it. She was this version of Loki. They were the catalyst to him just going all over again. I think he was bored. I think he's been bored a long time. He's like, you know what? Let me fuck some shit up. But he even offered them to have their perfect lives.
Well, he himself said he was tired.
Yeah, he was tired. He's like, I'm bored. I've been doing this since the beginning. And now I'm like, okay, this is all right. Can somebody please come mix this up a little bit?
Nigga's trying to take a vacay. He's trying
he's
trying to go.
When he got killed, I'll be back. I'll see you later. This is coming back. I'll be back. I know what happens. Which is kind of cool. Which I thought was great the way. I know we all thought that the quantum realm and all that stuff was going to introduce all the different types of new
universes and stuff.
But I think this is a pretty good way of, like, again, the writers make you go back and watch different series again. They make you the way they're doing these movies and these series, they're making you go back into the other movies, but now it makes sense, you know? And some of the things you can go back and go, that makes sense with the WandaVision, and at the same time that the Wanda heard the boys crying, at the same time the timeline split, you know, when all the chaos started happening. And then it shows how powerful Loki really is, even if it's not our version, but other Lokis, how powerful they are in the universe. Because the old Loki, he created a whole entire Asgard just by conjuring it, you know?
Now, Dre's in the chat, and he can probably speak, type to this a bit. But I think they were vastly downplaying the power. They was up and down with Loki's power and how strong he is and stuff like that, because he was very overly reliant on like swords and daggers and stuff. But then when he needed to use some magic, it's like this dumb, powerful, like building stopping magic. And then he's back to using daggers and stuff. And I was like, I thought that he was way stronger than that. Power wise. I thought, was it the Tesseract that was really the strong shit?
I think he was relying so much on the Tesseract and not understanding his potential that maybe that's the reason why we didn't get to see this powerful our version of this Loki. You know, I think because he doesn't realize how powerful he really is.
Dre said old Loki mentioned that daggers made him weaker because it made him stop focusing on his magic. But shit, even when our Loki was using daggers, he didn't even look all that good of a fighter, man. Like, I don't know. I thought they dumbed our Loki down a lot just so that he could be, you know, it's a show. So like he can't be like stupid OP. But I just didn't like how non-strong he was and in times where he needed to be strong.
And what Dre is saying is right. They only in a lot of the different
he only focused on his trickery.
Yeah, they focused on the god of I'm the trickster. I'm the god of trick you. I'll do all this. I'll conjure up a different version of myself. They didn't focus on his powerful magic, how he is.
Soka. What about you, Phenom? Kind of quiet down there.
Oh, I was letting y'all talk. I mean, I'm more like about the magic thing. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it was one of those things in the story where like he used his magic more for trickery, and then like when like some real dangerous shit would happen, that's when it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I can do this too. You know, if you're not like, you can have a power, but like Dre said, if you're not used to using it or practicing it, sometimes you're not going to think about it firsthand unless like you're in a dire situation, and then you're just like, oh, I better try this and see if this shit still works.
Because even like Sylvie said, you know, he's asked Sylvie, how do you learn how to enchant people? She said, a lot of practice. You know, she's over 2,000 years old. She's got a lot of practice. Loki never thought about enchanting somebody like that. But because
he made it seem like he knew how to do it, but it was just so beneath him to do it that he doesn't do it. And I was, but he doesn't know how to do it.
It's like he said it's a parlor trick. It's like, no, this is some real shit. You know, it's some real.
I'm like, you're a trickster. It's like nothing should be parlor to you.
Exactly.
The last 20 seconds of the show. What happened in the last 20 seconds of the show?
When Mobius and B-15 didn't recognize Loki and what happens is that when Sylvie pushes Loki through the time portal, she's not pushing him into their timeline, because by that time the timeline's already split. So the timeline he falls into is a different timeline altogether.
Wait, I thought that until Phenom corrected me, and he got me thinking.
Yeah, so let's go back. Let's go back real quick. So Kang, or He Who Remains, you know, he's talking to Sylvie and Loki, and they get to a point in time where he no longer knows what's about to happen. And so he basically tells them, look, man, the whole reason I had to do this shit is because I found out about different universes, and in those different universes there were variants of myself. Like the variants of myself ended up finding out about me as well. We were working together to advance technology, this, and then there were some of us who were just assholes who just wanted to conquer and take over worlds. So I had to squash all the other timelines and keep this one timeline in check, so that way, if the timelines ever were to branch again, those worst versions of myself would come to fruition. And he told Sylvie and Loki, hey, I'm giving you guys a choice. You can run the TVA together. You can do my job together, or you can kill me. If you kill me, there is no guarantee that you will not be unleashing worse versions of myself with no remorse, no empathy, no nothing. It's a chance you're going to have to take. Sylvie, driven by revenge, wants to kill him. Loki, just like, hey, so I'm a bullshitter by nature, and I don't think he's bullshitting.
Yeah, that's basically what he said.
He's like, hey, like, look at me. Like, look, you know who I am. I told you who I am. Like, because it was one line, like, because they ended up fighting about this, and it was one line, or I guess 2 lines, basically, where they were fighting, and he was just like, what'd he say? He said, you can't trust people.
And I can't be trusted.
And I can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In which I thought that said a lot. That was very reflective.
Yeah.
And so Sylvie pushes Loki out of the void, or the castle beyond the void, back to the TVA, and then she turns around and she kills He Who Remains. And what throws things off is at the end, Loki back in the TVA is trying to like tell Mobius and B-15, hey, the timelines are branching, this happened. Basically trying to tell them everything, and no one recognizes them. And which that's where Blank Man comes with his, he must have been pushed into a different timeline. But in my mind, she pushed him through the portal before she killed He Who Remains. So how's he in a different timeline then?
I think once she killed him and started branching, I think it might have changed in the middle of him. In the middle of him walking around doing all that stuff, it probably changed because it immediately split off after branching.
Oh, you know what I didn't think of? Remember what happened in episode 2 or episode 3? Episode 3. When they're together, they create a large Nexus event.
Mm-hmm.
So and they did kiss and like. Remember, they created a large Nexus event in an apocalypse just by being together and having an emotional connection. So maybe having an emotional and physical connection in this one with their kiss, maybe it created a bigger Nexus event in which she sent them back into another timeline.
I mean, I think, and that's what I mean. It's a great way to set up a season 2. It's a great way to set up a season 2 for Loki, and it's a great way to open other universes at the exact same time. They did something at the exact same time. They opened up different universes, and they prepped you for a season 2. That I thought was genius. Like you're setting up all these movies coming up, and you're giving us a season 2 in the exact same moment. That's hard to do.
But also in my head, I was like, if there's a Loki, and if there's supposed to be a Loki in like every timeline, then shouldn't they at least recognize them, even if they don't have even if those versions of Mobius and B-15 don't have a personal relationship with them? Should they at minimum recognize them? Or I guess maybe it's a different type of Loki, like the alligator Loki or Sylvie or
it might not.
Loki.
If Kang is in the timeline that they're in now, there may not be no Loki.
He might have killed them all.
He might have killed them all off, and he might be the last remaining one because this is not the same timeline as before where there's a bunch of Lokis. Now there's different multi-universes. So it might be something completely different.
So Dre says the timeline was shattered when they went back to visit Renslayer in her timeline. I thought they just went back in the past. I didn't know that was a separate timeline. I thought they just went back in time before she was taken, and
that's what I thought so too. Or did they go to the timeline where she's still? Maybe they went. No, they went to another a variant timeline where she's in. So okay, you know what? And Dre's right. The next event started when Sylvie blew up the timeline. When she blew up all the portals, blew up the timeline. Then Loki and her caused another Nexus event, which caused a crazier one. So while they've been fighting, going after TVA, the timeline outside of them has been going crazy. So they might have went to another timeline altogether where Renslayer wasn't even Renslayer by that time. It's a lot of different timelines involved.
It's a lot of rewatching that has to get done. Basically,
I just said we gonna get into a conversation about time travel.
No, you can't do that.
I mean, the great thing about Loki is it's so much nonsense going on that they don't really need great established rules of time travel, and you just believe it because you're just like, hey, multiple timelines, fuck it.
Well, I think we also want to believe it because we're so much of a fan as everything's about to happen. You know, we want to see Shang-Chi. We want to see the Spider-Man. We want to see Sinister Six. We want to see a good Fantastic Four. We want X-Men back in the Marvel universe. So we're like, you know what? I don't care. Put somebody in there. Let's go. You know, and then they open up. Now you open a door for, you know, Iron Lad because Kang is actually Iron Lad in the future. So there's a lot of things they can do right now. They've opened up that door. They kicked that door wide open.
I'm not greedy. I just want Deadpool and Blade. That's all. Like, so now are we gonna have vampires in the universe? I mean, in one of the timelines.
Dracula's in the universe.
Yeah, we're gonna have Mobius. This is basically what Sony was counting on when Sony was like, hey, no, don't worry, our shit's gonna connect to the MCU somehow.
Yeah.
Like, this is how now.
Well, make it make sense. Now all the Fantastic Four movies are gonna make sense.
Yep.
It's like everything.
You got Dr. Doom.
Hey, let's get it right. They can make sense, but they still won't make it any less trash.
Still bad movies.
Yeah, I was like, Loki helped Thor 2 seem a little better. Thor 2 is still the worst MCU movie.
Yeah, Dark World is. But I mean, I want to see Sentinels and X-Men personally. I want to see a good X-Men with Sentinels. That's what I want to see.
We're gonna get that now. There's no reason for them not to give us that now.
I just want to see Ryan Reynolds cursing out Captain America.
You might see Wolverine with the Avengers, man. I mean, in
the cartoon, he's an Avenger.
Loki basically was just like, hey, whatever you can dream of, whatever comic book storyline there is that you want, all that shit is now possible because multiple timelines.
Dude, they had to have a meeting after the episode. It was like, all right, everybody huddle up. Now that we done fucked up the timeline, what are the rules for fucking up the timeline? What can we do? What can't we do? There's
so much canon stuff you can go to now. You know, of course, we know comic movies going to dominate for the next 20 years, but I'm so excited to see what they're about to do because you can bring in all the fan favorites that you didn't have before.
He said 20 years. You know how many comic books there are?
I'm just saying the next 20 years.
Comic books have changed the silver screen and is going to continue changing the silver screen for a very long time.
You can do everything you always wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're going to get, I guess DC has to figure out how they're going to rebrand their whole situation.
Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint. That's a time travel once again. That's it.
There you go. That's how you reset stuff.
Hey, that's how they created the entire DC animated movie universe, and that shit was fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thoroughly liked this episode of Loki. Jonathan was just so good, man.
It was really good.
He was like, I told Sirius, I said he was kind of like Wizard of Ozzy meets Willy Wonka, and I loved it.
Yeah,
he was like, I'm all powerful, but then he's just kind of joking around with you too while he's all powerful. I was like, hey,
that's a good comparison.
I was like, hey, I would have been like, hey, you just want to quit because you're lonely, right? I was like, hey, just stop killing people the way you are. If we can find a better solution, I'll stay here with you. We can chill for a little bit.
But he did back and forth. He did that Doctor Strange thing to where he said, hey, I've went through all the scenarios and this is the only one that works.
We're at the end of time now. I'm bringing you ideas that you couldn't read in a book, dog. If Loki and Sylvie can work together, why can't me and you work together, bro?
I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the writers of Marvel are taking their game to a whole new level by going, listen, we can do this, but watch what we're gonna do. And you know what's coming, but do you really? Like, you know Kang was coming, but did you really know it's going to be that version of Kang? You think it was going to be all-powerful Kang sitting on the throne talking about, I did it all? That's what I thought. That's the version I thought we were going to get.
Well, the thing with me is I'm going to blame Dre, and I'm going to blame him specifically because he can't defend himself. But I'm going to blame Dre because he told us about Kang the Conqueror, kind of like, what he does and, why he's doing it and stuff like that. But he didn't tell us, like, there could be different versions of Kang the Conqueror. And I feel like I wasn't prepped for that, Dre. I really feel like you didn't do a good enough job.
I wasn't prepped for that either. And I've been doing my research.
He was dipping into the Secret Wars and stuff. And you just didn't do a good job at prepping us and letting us know that it's really the reason why these Secret Wars are jumping off is because these different versions of Kang the Conqueror are fighting each other.
Dre said, look, man, the whole point of Loki is they keep talking about different variants of people, so why can't there be different variants of Kang? Dre said, I can't fill in those, like, I shouldn't have to fill in those blanks.
I didn't tell you about the Council of Kangs. Did he tell us about the Council of Kangs?
I
don't remember that.
I learned about that on Wednesday.
I learned about that right now.
I learned about it on Wednesdays. I was doing research from like, there's more than one Kang. I was like, oh shit, there's a Council of Kangs. I didn't know that shit. Oh shit, Kang's probably the most powerful being in all of Marvel Universe. Oh yeah.
No, Dre, completely blindsided by this news. Completely blindsided.
But you know what I also like? I also like that the fact that Kang was black, but it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Like he could have been a white guy.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It's like the way Jonathan Majors played it, it didn't matter what skin color it was. This is who I'm Kang.
Yeah, he could have walked out with a purple face and
you know what I'm
still
saying?
would've just been Kang.
And you would have felt the exact same way.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have been like, oh shit, it's Kang. Yeah, okay, that's cool. And you wouldn't. It's a white guy. You're like, okay, or he's Middle Eastern. Okay, I'm a different version of him.
I want to know okay, so all these Kangs are working together. They found a way to interact with one another, have the timelines interact with one another. Some of the timelines fighting with one another. All these things, all are because of one person, Kang, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does his timeline, his universe, like all the powerful people that in those timelines with him, how do they feel about a black guy making all these powerful moves that they're not ready for? Yeah,
I think it's evolved past that because he's from the 31st century.
Yeah, he's from the future.
So what? They're all blue in the future.
No, but I think in the 31st century, I think we've like grown past race.
Oh, did we beat racism?
We're hoping everything that our ancestors or our grandparents and stuff hoped in the 50s and 60s would happen in the late 90s to 2000s actually occurs in the 31st century.
Nah, you know that timeline that the King the Conqueror comes from. You know they was racist as shit. He was like, you know what? I'm conquering all you bitches. Like, you know, he had it in for him.
He's like, nothing will make me feel better than to see y'all face when you realize a black man is in charge of all y'all.
But I did this. He who remains a nigga. It was me all along.
I thought it was good. I mean, I think that the writing has been like spot on, man.
The only thing I didn't like was the forced love story between Sylvie and
that was kind of cringy when they were kissing. It didn't feel.
And that's because, like I told Sirius, because we only got 6 episodes, and at no point in time during those 6 episodes was it ever paced to be the right type of build up. Like, for all I know, they've only like they met each other like the end of episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had the train scene and trying to get off the apocalypse planet, and for all you know, they've really only spent
48 hours tops. 48 hours tops with each other.
But being that they're the same person, the same timeline, and do they recognize their attraction to themselves? So they're already a narcissist as it is. So maybe it's easier to fall for yourself.
I don't know. Let me ask you a question. If there was a female version of you, would you fall for her?
Fuck no. I'm annoying.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, he said it best. You can't trust, I can't be trusted. So I was like, how do you fall in love with that?
But I mean, and that's the thing. But that's another version. But that's another way of saying all that. About, he can say that about himself. He said he doesn't trust people, and he can't be trusted. He's like, we're the same person. We're actually the same person. I don't trust people, and I can't be trusted.
That nigga tried to hit her with that Batman Returns. Selena, don't you see? We're one and the same. Saw how that shit worked out for Bruce.
Yeah. Didn't work out at all.
Like, fellas, stop trying that we're one in the same line.
It's not a good line. That Jones like 0 for 50, bro. It's
almost 30 years later, that shit still don't work.
So the next one we got coming up is what? Shang-Chi?
Yeah, that's the next MCU project. Shang-Chi and
that Jones was giving me a real Mortal Kombat kind of feel when I was watching that trailer. I don't know. I think it was probably just the colors. It was probably just the colors. It had they was like holding the chain, and one was yellow, and the other one was blue. And I was like, huh.
Mortal Kombat. This is gonna be a lot better than Mortal Kombat. You know that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm just saying the colors, you know.
Trying to see if I can find a list of like everything that's supposed to come out after
10
Loki.
Weeks. When is my Gambit coming out? Yes, with
who?
Channing Tatum. I was about to say Jason Tatum.
That was scrapped when Fox got purchased by Disney.
Give me the goddamn Gambit movie.
He said, "When we got Gambit,
play Gambit, man."
Somebody say we're still real. Look, we're still reeling from the way X-Men Wolverine fucked up so many characters.
God, yes.
X-Men Wolverine, like when
The
he
Origins.
went to Japan. Oh.
No,
Origins.
I was about to say that joke was okay.
Yeah, no, Origins.
The samurai, and then
That was
Nah,
okay.
that was actually all right. Yeah, that one was pretty dope.
I had the Silver Samurai, and
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. Everything after Origins was good. Like Origins was just so trash that I think people just didn't want to give the other.
I
two.
think the way
They didn't want to give the second one a chance.
the way you reintroduce X-Men, do origin stories of Storm and do an origin story of Wolverine.
I don't want to see an origin story of Storm.
Why?
I just don't want to see it.
You could tie in Black Panther that also.
Man, I saw Apocalypse. I know her origin story. She was evil. They then old man started fucking with Mystique, who
she
was
wasn't
somehow
evil.
the world's...
She was like a street urchin.
Wait a minute, Storm is a mega level mutant. She deserves an origin story.
Yeah, she's an Omega level mutant. Like we all acknowledge this.
This is
We
true.
don't want the origin story though.
You don't like Black women?
I just don't want to see a Storm origin story.
You don't like Black women. That's what you're saying. You don't like Black women.
I'm not saying that at all, man. Nobody's saying that.
I'm so ready for Shuri to be the Black Panther. I just don't care about the Storm origin movie.
Oh yeah, I will say this, and I was telling Phenom this. So I guess I could say this, and then like we can rate the Loki series. But so Sylvie really made me mad. She really angered me, but I was very split about this character.
Oh, the raw emotion thing.
The raw emotion thing, because we saw that no matter what Loki said, she was gonna kill Kang anyway. Like that nigga was as good as dead. And the fact that she did that, I was like, yes. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I can't stand this bitch. Because me personally, and yeah, I've said this before, I'm not a fan of female heroes, even though that's starting to change more because the female hero dynamic is starting to change more. Better movies are coming out and stuff like that. Sylvie, she was able to capture that moment that I want out of my female superhero, which is no matter what type of relationship dynamic, no matter what type of MacGuffin, what type of child, no matter what they throw at her, she's gonna do what she wants to do. She's gonna, hey, I said I was gonna kill this dude from episode 2. I said I was gonna kill him. Now it's the last episode. I'm gonna kill him. That's just, I don't care what kind of love shit Loki you got going on, but I'm gonna kill him. That's what, and I was like, I fucks with that. That's what I've been looking for. But the way she did it, Loki was just like, let's just think real quick. Like, there's a lot on the line. Let's just think for a second. Let's not be too hasty. And she was like, nah, I'm gonna kill him. And I was like, you still might want to think about this before you just like stab this nigga. And that's what I could, like, she was so gung-ho about it. Like, just all forms of logic was just thrown out the window. And I understand her motivation. I understand her motivation.
2,000 years of revenge.
That's why I equated it to Civil War, because in Civil War, everyone understands why Tony did what he did in the final fight. A lot of people, of course, empathize with what he did during the final fight. But when you sit back and look at it logically, it's just like, yeah, Bucky did kill your parents, but it's not like he did it of his own free will and that he chose to do it. So it's the same way. It's the same way with Sylvie. It's just like, I understand that you're mad and you've been wanting this revenge for so long, but logically, if someone is saying, "Hey, maybe we should just sit back just in case he's telling the truth," like, give that person the ear.
Yeah,
but her emotion definitely took over, and you saw that when she stabbed him and then she sat down. She had that release. So that's 2,000 years of running from apocalypses to now. I get to, because I guess you like,
and now you stuck in a void. Now you stuck at the edge of fucking time. You could have been fucking running the TVA, living out your life the way you making that wasn't a better life. But now you stuck. You can't even get back to where you want to go.
That's a lot of. Think how much trauma you have to endure to go. At the end of the time, I can control everything. Fuck that, kill him. And that's a lot of, like, that's a lot.
It's a lot of trauma when you look at somebody and you see that you can have a future with them possibly, and you're just like,
nah,
I can't let you take this hate from me.
No,
I can't let you take this anger from me. It's like I want all like I like somewhere inside of me, I know I do want some of these things with you, and that you are making sense, and that I shouldn't, but growing up the way I did, losing everything I lost, not getting the answers that I want, because she still never got the answers about what was her Nexus event that had her taken away and all that. So she's just like, I can't let you take this hate away from me, because it's what's driven me for so long.
Oh, that's very Count of Monte Cristo of her.
Yes. Yep. I know nothing else. I need this. This is
like,
don't take away my hate. It's all I have. God
damn. You took everything else away from me. But
that is a strong line.
God damn. That's it? That's all you got?
And that's an excellent movie, by the way.
All this gold, baby. You got a mansion. You a king. That's all. All you got is hate. That's it.
Why are you on the floor? Get off the floor.
Man.
But oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like y'all said, this sets up so much to come, because I'm looking on the Screen Rant, and it's talking about all 13 Marvel TV shows releasing after Loki. So of course we have What If, which really doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, but so I was speaking with Drugs. This What If coming out, different timelines.
Yeah.
It could, it could be a direct result of what we just saw in Loki.
It could be. Like, I mean, who knows? The only reason why I say like I'm not reading too much into What If is because we already knew about What If before Loki.
Yeah.
We knew about it, but that could have always been a part of the plan since it's releasing after the stuff with Loki.
Well, Drugs made a point. We could start a whole new cartoon universe.
Yeah. Let's see. So we got Hawkeye, which they say is supposed to come out later this year.
Oh shit.
Miss Marvel coming out later this year. Moon Knight 2022. She-Hulk 2022. Secret Invasion. No one cares about the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I'm still trying to figure out why Groot gets his own TV show. Ironheart. I'm interested in that.
They must going to surround Groot with a bunch of bomb-ass supporting characters. Yeah. That's the only way I can see that working. You surround him with a bunch of bomb-ass.
The Groot canon to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm ready for the new stuff. I'm ready for the new shit we got coming, because even movie-wise, we got Shang-Chi, then the Eternals, and then Spider-Man.
I'm just not that about the Eternals. Maybe because I don't know shit about them. But
I don't know much about them. But only thing about the Eternals that I'm kind of getting that Martian Manhunter from Zack Snyder Justice League feel, where it's just like, motherfucker, y'all been here the whole time. So where the fuck were you when Thanos was snapping everybody in half?
Are the Sentinels in the Eternals?
I don't think so. Because the Sentinels ain't that X-Men?
That's definitely an X-Men thing.
I thought I heard some of the Sentinels and the Eternals or something like that. I don't remember. But I need X-Men back. Seriously.
He said the best thing Loki did was was open the gateway for X-Men for me.
Yeah, Young Avengers is coming. It's coming. They're already setting it up. You got the Patriots, you got the Wiccan, you have, you got all that. It's coming. Young Avengers is coming.
Ain't that the Dark Avengers? The
Dark Avengers is with
who was it from Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Nemo,
it's the dude from Falcon, the other Captain America, whatever they're gonna call him.
U.S.
Agent.
Yeah, U.S. Agent.
They're gonna call that the Dark Avengers because
they're actually the Thunderbolts.
America is black.
Or the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts. Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of them, Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts. It's like, because you didn't see
Black Widow.
See Black Widow, so you don't know like another person that's probably gonna be on the team.
Oh, okay.
The sexiest Black Widow there is. Whew.
Oh, they're swapping out Black Widows.
Well, here's the thing. Once you see the movie, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Good one. you got me there.
I think they love me. They never put anyone above me.